Hello and welcome to this tutorial for Pan Am the game. You might look at this and think it's going to be complicated, but it's not. If you're familiar with games like Catan or Ticket to Ride, this game is about that same easy level. Here's how it goes. You are going to play 7 rounds and then the game is over. Whoever has the most stock wins the game. This is one stock. If you have the most, you are the winner. The cards will help you to keep track of how long the game is. Round 1, round 2, and all the way to round 7. That is the end. How do you get stock? That's very easy. At the end of every round, you can buy as many stock as you want. It even says so on your own player board. Here, all the way at the end, buy stock. Of course, you need money for that, but that's what playing the game is for. So, how do you play it? Well, that's also written here right in front of you on your own player board. This one. You've got the big board for everyone, but this one is only for you. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, and Step 4. Let's go through them one by one. Step 1. You flip over the top card from the round deck. Read out loud what it says here. The card will speak for itself. Then adjust the stock. This card says that the stock is on 4. So take this marker and place it on 4. The stock price for this round is now 4 money. Step 2. This is where you get to place these things on the board. These are your own player figures. Your player board says priority. That means these guys, any figures that were put here in the previous round, get to go first, just like priority boarding at a real airport. So, going from left to right, place these figures on one of the spaces on the big board. And then, when that is done, you place the remaining figures on the board. The first player goes first by placing 1 on the board on any free space. Then the next player go around the table. Then you place your second one and your third one. You place them on the spaces of the actions that you want to do. I'll explain those in a moment. When everyone is done placing their figures all over the board, you get to step 3. Everyone starts taking back their player figures one by one and do whatever you're allowed to do on that particular space. But you have to do this in a particular order. You start here with the letter A. If there's a figure here, do the action and take it back. Next comes B, then you do C, after that you do D, and finally you do E. The only difference here at the letter E is that you don't take back your player figure, because if it's there you get priority in the next round when it's time to place these figures on the board. Anyway, at the end of the round with step 4, this is where Pan Am slowly takes over the game board. You get money and you can buy stock. Don't forget that whoever has the most stock at the end of the game will be the winner. So let me recap that quickly. Step 1. Turn over one of these cards and do what it says. Step 2. Place your figures on the board to plan your actions. Step 3. Take them off the board to do the actions, and you do that in alphabetical order, A, B, C, and so on. And step 4, Pan Am takes over the board, you get money, and you can buy stock. That is one round. At the end, you give the first player token to the player on your left. Now I'll explain that a little more in detail, what you can do. Let's do that in alphabetical order too. A. What do you do here? As you can see, there are 4 spaces, but there can be only one player figure here. If I place my figure here, then another player can place it above me. For example, here. Then I have to take back my figure. But when it's my turn again, I can place it even higher. I put it here, and then the other player has to take his back. And when someone puts a figure here, that player will be the one to do this action. But when the time comes to do this action, it will cost this much money. Same goes for here and here. These are spaces where players can bid on who gets to do the action. B and C. It's different for D and E because everyone can place a figure there and it's free. Okay, back to A. What do you do here? This is to place an airport. First, you pay the money. So if my figure was here, I have to pay this much money. And then I can place one of my airports, this little yellow one, on any available city on the board. I'll place it here. There's one more thing. After you've placed an airport, you can slide your cube one space on this track here. This is how much money you get at the end of the round. Next up is B. Here you can get these destination cards. It's important to have them. I'll get to that in a moment. If you're here, you first have to pay the money, and then you can take the card. Just keep it with you, face up on the table. Then you do C. This is where you can get new airplanes. Pay the money, the space that your figure is on, and then you can take the plane. If you place it here. This is for the plane on your own player board here. After C comes D. This is for putting one of your planes on the big board, on a route between 2 cities. This is the most complicated part of the game. First, can you just place any plane on any route? No, that would be too easy. To place a plane between 2 cities, you need to have permission to land in both of the cities. You need to have the landing rights. How do you get landing rights? There are 4 ways. You have 4 ways to claim a route. 1. Have an airport there. If you have one of your airports on a city, you always have landing rights. 2. Have one of these destination cards of that city. That's all. If you have that card, you have the landing rights. 3. Now it gets tricky. Pay close attention. You can get landing rights for a city if you have a card that is not that city, but it does have the same color. If you discard that card, then you have temporary landing rights. So if you have a card that is the same color as the city that you are trying to claim, that also counts. And 4. The 4th way to get landing rights and place your plane on the board is this. You can take two cards of another color and discard those. For example, if I discard two destination cards that are red, I can get temporary landing rights in a city that is green. I'll give you an example. I have an airport here, and I want to claim this route, but I don't have any landing rights for this city on the other end. But I do have this one card that is the same color as this city. So I discard it, and now I can place a plane here. But wait, there's more. Can you place just any plane? No, that's what these numbers are for. For example, here you see a 4. That means it needs a really big plane to make it all the way from here to here. This little plane is not going to make it, it's too small. So you always have to place a plane there that is big enough or even bigger. If you look closely at the planes, you'll see that the wings have little stripes on them. They will tell you which number they are. This one counts as a 1. This is a 2. The bigger one is a 3. And this jet plane is the biggest with 4. Only this plane can go on a 4 space. So that's it. This is what you do when you place one of your figures here by the letter D on the board. You place one of your planes on a route, and you have to have the landing rights in both cities, plus you have to have the right plane to put there. It can't be too small. You get a reward, though. As soon as you place the plane, you can move your little cube forward to get more money at the end of the round. If you've placed a plane on a space with a 1, you move it forward 1 space. If you place the plane on a 2, you move it forward 2 spaces, and so on. The last space on the board, the letter E. If you have placed one of your figures here, you just take one of these cards. These are bonus cards. They will tell you exactly what they do and when you're supposed to use them. Let the card speak for itself. The only difference is you don't take your figure back. Leave it there on the board, because in the next round you will have priority in placing this figure somewhere on the board. Done! Let me repeat that quickly. Go to A to build an airport. Go to B to get these cards. Go to C to get new planes. Go to D to claim routes. And go to E to get a bonus card and get priority in the next round. Then the last step of every round, step 4. This is where Pan Am slowly takes over the world. What do you do? On the card that you revealed at the start of the round, it shows this. That means I have to roll this die. I can see only 1 on the card, so I only roll it once. If you would see 2 dice, that means you roll it twice, and twice you have to do whatever it says. Anyway, let's do it. I'm gonna roll the die. And this is the result. This is where Pan Am is going to expand to. Here's how that goes. First, find Miami. Here it is, Miami. The die shows this. That's the same as here on the board. So Pan Am takes over the first available route along this line. Place a Pan Am token there. This is now taken over for the rest of the game. You can't take this off the board. And there was another line on the die, this one. So again, start in Miami and place a Pan Am token on the first available route along this line. Here. Next, income, like it says on your own player board. My little cube is here, so I get this much money. Done. And now the very last bit, stock. Everyone can now buy as much stock as they want, and have the money for it, of course. How much does it cost? Well, remember that at the start of the round, we placed this marker on 4, because the card said we were supposed to play it on 4. That means every stock costs 4 money. So if I pay 8, I can take 2. That's it. This is a round and what you do on the board. Place your figures and then take them off to do the action there. I've got 2 details for you and then we're done. What if you are here, but then you roll the die and Pan Am takes over your route? Then you have to take back your plane, you can keep it, but you go down here again with your cube. That's less money for you. And the second thing, what if you roll this? That's actually a good thing. That means Pan Am isn't just taking routes. If you roll this, then every player can choose to sell a route to Pan Am. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you do, you get money for it. If you look here on the board, it shows you how much money you get for selling a route to Pan Am. For example, if I sell the biggest one, the 4, I get this much money. Of course, I do have to take back my plane and move my cube back 4 spaces. But still, a lot of money. If you haven't played this game yet, it could sound a little complicated. But when you've played it once, you'll see it's actually quite easy. I hope you feel ready to give it a first try and that you'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching this video and see you for the next one.